Hey, quick fun fact. Y'all ready? I got 2 bags now.
I don't want the.
Hey, I got some jerky for you from some guy at Durant. You know who it is?
Yeah, he told me he's gonna bring some jerky. Shout out to my man with the jerky bag.
I actually ate a piece. It's unbelievable.
Hey, don't sit next to me.
This fell on the ground, and they were freaked out about it because they said there's rats in here, but it was like 10-second rule. So these are good. I'm gonna eat these. You eat them. Fell on the ground. Actually, I'm gonna eat all these, and then when them run out, if I need these, I get them.
I was about to say, boy, look, that clear bag.
There's not rats or mice.
Are we rolling?
It don't even matter.
No, there definitely is. They saw them.
No, they're little
Rat?
field mice. They're not
Brad,
rats.
what y'all see, Brad?
Colin, are we rolling or not? Oh, we've been rolling. All right.
Brad, what y'all see? Y'all saw mice, huh?
Little tiny mice.
Yeah.
This
Inside
big.
the house?
Yes.
Like
Where
this
at?
big.
When we came up, there was like 2. There was like the morning we went, day 1 for Group B. Me and Nick came up. There were 2 right in the kitchen, right by the trash can that ran underneath the dishwasher. So
Let's go into the video.
Hell yeah, why not?
And this place is 8.5 out of 10.
Is it? Boy, mice. Damn, he just went down.
Hey,
Yeah.
6 months, I had mice in my downstairs basement.
Oh, 100%.
That's your new crib?
Yeah.
You're lying.
No, I got
we
one.
got
Dude, I got mice in my house.
It's not common.
In the house?
It's
house,
very
right around.
common for a new
You're lying.
house.
I swear.
Is it?
Yeah, especially like in the woods, like where you are, because they living out there.
Hey, just going to the video.
Yeah.
And that's why we have
let's go to the video.
That's
Real
what-
quick.
that's
before
why we
the
have
video
bats.
starts.
Now we
Yeah.
put that in the video all the
No, we're putting all this in video.
rats in houses and all that.
Shout out to my people that got cockroaches in the house.
Hey, wait. Hey, did you just swallow them?
Hmm?
You did. So you swallowed nerds.
I'm taking baby steps.
I like it, bro.
Hey, look, shout out to people that have cockroaches in the house.
Don't shout out
Bro.
them people.
You wanna know why?
What?
It's common to have a cockroach in your house. Like a wood roach.
The big one.
You talking about a water bug?
No,
The big ones.
No, that ain't a water bug. That's a wood roach.
Yeah, them big ones.
All right, because everybody gets them in their house. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If you got them little baby cockroaches,
Them little brown. They call it a German cockroach.
you need to clean your
Yeah,
kitchen.
bro. If you got a German cockroach, no, you got a bad problem. You got
Y'all
a bad
need to
problem.
clean your kitchen.
You gotta call Terminex if you got him. 'Cause that's a bad problem, bro.
Let's do it.
All right, rate debate. We back with the boys talking about cockroaches at the moment. It just don't never. You just never know what you're
This
gonna
was
hear
the
or
weirdest
see.
start to a rate that I ever had in my
This is
entire
the
life.
weirdest one, and I was listening. I was trying to keep it on a positive note with the nerds, but then y'all start talking about mice inside houses.
I didn't know he was rolling.
Well, I didn't realize he was eating them out of the bag. Them were the ones on the floor where the things were.
Roach.
The opposite roaches.
Mouse.
Listen, the mice.
Mice.
To be honest with you, would you rather have see mice or cockroaches and then eat them off the floor?
100%.
It
Neither.
depends. I want them. I'd rather have mice than a German cockroach.
Y'all act like I'm grabbing these little mice turds up and eating them. Them big dog, them are nerds, not mice turds.
Yeah.
They look about the same.
Them little German cockroaches, they will take over your house.
100% they will.
Like termites.
Dude, I had rental properties that dude, you walk in there, brother, crawl on the wall.
You need to burn that place, bro.
Everywhere, bro.
You gotta
Can
burn
we
it
start
all.
this video?
All right, let's go.
God, come on.
Hey, it's been a day today. But anyway, Rate Debate. We doing something totally different this time on Rate Debate. As you can see, I got no boxes out here. I got no lures. There's no baits. But it's still Rate Debate. Because on Rate Debate, we'll rate you. We rate anything.
Right.
1 to 10.
1 to 10. We gonna rate you. But no, in all seriousness, we thought it would be really cool and informative and helpful to talk about electronic companies, right? So there's 3 major players in the bass fishing scene. We have used and use all of them in this house. Hell, Jacob, you got them all on your boat, don't you?
Mhm.
Yeah. So obviously, Adrian's sponsored by Lawrence. J-Dub's a free agent. I'm with Garmin. DC's with Lawrence, right? But at the end of the day, we have looked at, played with, utilized, used, currently using all the different electronic brands. So what I thought would be a good idea is let's just talk about electronics as a whole, and we don't have to get too far in depth, but there's 4 major categories when we're talking about electronics. You got the mapping, which is a huge one. You have your side scan, which is a big deal. Your down scan, which is so-so, and
Hey, you looking for him? I see you.
forward facing sonar. Then you got your forward transducer. Well, we're gonna hit that with 4 topics. We're gonna leave 2D sonar out of that, just because it's kind of phasing out, although we still all use 2D. I use it every single day. But those are the 4 topics we're going to touch on in this rate debate.
Good topics.
Yeah.
Or we could do 5 and throw 2D in there too.
You gotta throw 2D in there.
Let's
Yeah,
throw
you
2D. We
gotta-
always use 2D. All right. We'll make it 5 topics. We'll try to keep it brief on the topics because, as you guys know, as big as a conversation electronics are in the fishing industry right now, it's out of control. It's astronomical. We can go down a rabbit hole right now.
We could.
Jacob's already breathing real hard. You?
Hey y'all, I saw that, but you ain't seen me look at you. Inside joke. We can go down a rabbit hole real deep on these electronics, but we're not gonna do that. But we want to make it informative for you guys.
The deepest canyon.
I enjoy the rabbit hole.
You boys, see, y'all boys is wild. All right, who wants to kick off rate debate? So look, here's the electronic companies: Humminbird, Garmin, Lowrance. That's where we're at. Okay, those are the major players. So let's talk about mapping first, because I get hit up all the time about graph setups. I'm sure you do. Adrian, I know you guys get it all day long. How do I set up this? One of the most important, if not the most important, part of electronics is going to be your mapping. That's your navigation. That's all your topography. That's all your underwater detail to let you know where you might even want to begin to start to look for a bass is going to be the mapping, in my opinion. So let's jump into mapping.
Who's starting?
Sound like you might want to start.
I'll start.
DC, you jumped up quick.
Can I say a little quick disclaimer real quick? Y'all might cancel me.
Uh-oh.
I mean, this is cancel culture nowadays.
Uh-oh.
I don't think electronics have been a hot topic for a long time.
Oh, for a long time, no.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a while ago you said electronics is a hot topic. The main aspect that made it a hot topic was forward-facing sonar, and it wasn't until the crybabies got kicked off, and that's facts. Because it's been around 7 years, and then immediately some people just want they just want to start crying about it. But anyway, that's why it's a hot topic. Let's get back into mapping.
Let's get back into mapping.
That's my disclaimer.
Hey,
That's
throw it out.
facts.
Hey, look, don't throw it out. Hey, it's ready to
Bye.
make, bro.
We'll talk about it.
Go throw them out there, bro.
Anyway, meanwhile, mapping. Let's get back to the facts here.
Let's get it.
You got to rate each one of them.
Yep.
I'm just gonna start down the list.
Yeah.
In my opinion, this is straight up non-biased. I think Humminbird has really great mapping. Okay,
What is that? Scale 1 to 10.
scale of 1 to 10. Humminbird, I'm gonna say an 8 out of 10.
And what's it called, too? Because a lot of people don't know what.
Lake Master.
Lake
There we go.
Master.
Lake Master. I'll start with Humminbird. Lake Master, 8 out of 10. I spend a lot of time with Lake Master. The biggest thing that I will say this, and I'm probably going to take this out of their mouths also, is mapping is very different on every lake. There's so many lakes and bodies of water in the United States, of course, that have been mapped. A lot of popular ones, Kentucky Lake, Lake Gunnersville. But you have a lot of sneakier lakes and a lot of lakes that just ain't really well known that much that don't have the mapping. So, for example, we're at Dale Hollow right now. Sea Maps does have mapping here. I don't think they spend a ton of time mapping this lake. Humminbird has, but I've seen it where it's vice versa, where Sea Maps is phenomenal. Coosa River Sea Maps is awesome. I actually know the guys that mapped it. They were on the mapping crew with Sea Maps. They mapped it, and they've got everything. Stuff that I didn't even know was there was on Sea Maps versus Humminbird.
Yeah.
So that's my first disclaimer. Humminbird, 8 out of 10. Sea Maps is, I'm going to say Sea Maps by Lowrance. I'm going to say a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 6.8.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised you're going with flat numbers.
6.8.
It's always
Right.
decimals, man.
Yeah, I'm going to say
6.8.
6.8. 6.8, and the last little point 2 was some lakes Sea Maps have not met yet. Okay, they're in the process of doing that, and they just, it was a new deal. They're still mapping, okay? Garmin, I don't know nothing about Garmin. I've never ran Garmin mapping. I have not. I do remember one time at San Lawrence River, you were talking about the Garmin mapping. And
Yeah.
they had mapped it very well. But
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about, I can't go in on Garmin mapping. I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10 just because they're Garmin.
Yeah, you don't know.
Oh, is that the main 3?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
I mean, for the most part, yeah.
I think Humminbird has mapping down. I do,
Yeah.
in
No,
my opinion.
I got a ditto DC, and I'm gonna just say this too as a disclaimer for all my novice anglers out there. It's very important to make sure you got good mapping. I said that in the intro, to the point where you could be just driving across the lake, and if you don't have proper mapping, you're gonna knock your whole gear case off, your whole engine off, because you're running mapping that's not adequate, right? And so mapping is really, really big. Now, like I said, I'm sponsored by Garmin, so I use Garmin a lot. Now, with that being said, I don't feel like Garmin has the best mapping. They have good mapping though. I'm gonna give them a 7 out of 10 on their mapping. The lakes that they have actually went out and surveyed themselves is really, really good. St. Lawrence River is one of them, like you spoke of. Toledo Bend, amazing.
Was it good there?
It was really good. And every little nook and cranny, in my opinion. But day in and day out, Humminbird is the Lake Master is the mapping that, if all else fails, you know it's going to be super detailed on most places. Not all places. Some places they don't have, or it's not as good. I've seen that too. It goes a little bit of both sides. So I'm gonna give Garmin a 7 out of 10. I've actually never used C-Maps, but of course I'm around these cats all the time. I hear them talk about C-Maps all the time. They speak highly of it in some instances, and in others it's not the best.
Unbelievable, man.
Oh, he spit them out too?
No.
Yeah, why your cup red? You spit the nerds out, bruh.
No, man, that's cool, eh?
So I'm gonna give C-Maps 6 out of 10. I don't know nothing about them. Lake Master, 8.5. Really good. They've done an excellent job. I actually talked to, I forget who it was I was talking to. It might have been somebody at the service yard one year. But anyway, they send individual anglers out to map these lakes. So like, they don't get out there with a big boat and a big giant transducer. They send individual guys and they give them grid sections of the lake in bass boats, so you can access anywhere, everywhere, over the stumps, around the stumps. Where those big boats with those big expensive transducers, they can't do that.
That's crazy.
And so that's why it's mapped to that degree of detail in places where other companies don't have.
Yeah.
So that's an 8.5 on them. That's my 2 cents on mapping with the 3. What you got, J-Dub?
All right, I got some game for y'all.
Drop it, man.
Listen,
Listen, we love it.
So
except with that left, right, center.
I won one.
I definitely did.
So this is the deal. Humminbird bought Dr. Depth. So fun thing behind this.
Fun
fact.
History.
Fun fact. So a buddy of mine, Brian Waldman, from Indianapolis, Indiana, originally. Now he's down in South Carolina. He was one of my mentors.
Yep.
Super scientific on everything. Played understood electronics. Actually taught me how to read 2D really well. Understood every little nuance and was like super meticulous with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he came with this program called Dr. Depth that he bought, and he went out to our local lakes and was doing 1-foot contours. Had 1-foot contours gridded out on these lakes, and had his own 1-foot contour maps on the lakes that nobody else knew about.
Wow.
Right? This is back in 2007.
Yeah.
Like, and we were out there smashing them offshore.
Yeah.
So fast forward 3 years later, who buys that program?
Humminbird.
Humber buys Dr. Depth. They move forward. That is, from my understanding, that is the program that now is Lake Master. Now that's the program. Now the thing is, so backstory on that. Shout out to my boy Brian Walton. This is the thing. So Humber first definitely has been in the game. They established themselves, and this is the crazy thing. This is just because DC brought it up. Mapping is a huge ordeal. Mm-hmm. Absolutely ginormous. I had a top 3 tournament on Champlain because I had Humber mapping before everybody else had it. I bought it and I had it up to date, and I knew where these humps were that they mapped. And now there's a few guys that had it as well, but I literally was able to know where those humps were because of the mapping.
Yep.
Kevin Van Dam, Ott Defoe, these guys had mapping on these lakes when no one else had the mapping on these bodies of water. Mm-hmm. Technology overall in our sport in the last 25 to 30 years, 40 years, probably 30 for sure, has been a huge impact. Whether it's mapping, whether it's 2D or side imaging, it does not matter. It's always that person who's on the front edge.
Yep.
Do you think?
Yep.
Question. Do you think there were guys whining about mapping that they didn't have?
100%.
Other
Guaranteed.
Not to the extent obviously the stuff that's now, but I'm just saying that there is value. Like I just know, like the Humbert anglers had those maps before anyone else did. I had them because I got the newest chip, and it came out like a week before we had the tournament. But like, yes, I mean they were crying about it. They were. So
crying.
So I'm just giving you that backstory on mapping because it is important. Humbert overall, I run a Humbert unit on my boat. It's in the back. It has no transistors attached to it. It literally just has a power cord. That's all it has, a power cord. I'm going to give Humbert Lake Master mapping if they mapped it well. I'm giving them a 9.5. It is.
Wow.
It is. The reason why Lake Master is so good is it is 1 foot contours. But the reason it's so good is they have so much space between their 1 foot. So you can see, even on steeper stuff, you can see the intricate details and little nubs and little places that you can't see on the other mapping. And that is what separates Lake Master. And in addition to that, the Lake Offset, which Garmin has, Lowrance does not. But Lake Master mapping, 9.5, take it day in and day out. It's just, it is the deal for that. Number 2, C-Maps. I'm really irritated at C-Maps because they have exposed several locations that Lake Master did not map correctly. It's facts. I actually found several places I won a tournament on Chickamauga.
I remember you telling me.
Because of C-Maps. So, shout out to them as well, because not always, it's always dependent on who's mapping those locations. Right? You're dependent on the angler who did that. Lake Masters, they did not get everything, and I was thankful for a lot of years.
You're gonna see some, send some dots, leave some dots in the comments.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave those alone.
Well,
it doesn't matter now, but when it was really going up, I mean, Gunners was way better lake now compared to like Chickamauga, but when Chickamauga was in heyday, like dude, it was unbelievable because like these places never got fished for, and I had C-Maps, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this was there. I didn't know that was there. So, C-Maps, when they map it really well, their program on super flat stuff, they're actually even more detailed in like little turns and little places in scenarios. Now, where C-Map struggles is steeper stuff. It's harder to tell the differences. So you don't see as much of the little subtle differences. Like their programming, it's all programming. It's all it is. So their program.
They do have the bottom hardness feature also.
That's legit.
That is cool. I have used that. I've actually
Bottom
used that
harness
around
is.
my house. That's
Yeah,
cool.
bottom harness is cool as well. I'm going to give C-Maps a 7.8 because it is very good. I'm not gonna, if they 7.8 is what I'm going to give it to them.
Yeah,
solid.
That's solid.
Now, the only thing I'm knocking C-Maps on is you can't do a lake level offset.
Right.
Is the one thing there, and now Garmin I'm going to give them a 7.2. I think they're a step under C-Maps where. But again, all of it matters of who ultimately craft the lake.
Right.
Because each of these places, they ain't got, every mapping does not have it all.
Right.
I'm just telling you right now. That's why I have all of them. Because I want to have it all.
Yep.
And I want to understand what I'm
even
missing.
doing that, you still don't have it all because there's just places that they're going to miss.
Yeah, there's places that will still be sneaky.
Yeah.
And when you ever hear the term sneaky, it's because it's not on a map. And most of them are on a map now, which... There's not many sneaky places left.
It takes the sneaky away.
Hot dang.
Because a lot of them places you find them on 2D. A lot of sneaky places.
No, you just idle.
Find them running around.
Little
high spots and stuff.
Yeah. Little sneaky places.
Like northern stuff you find a lot of on 2D run.
Yeah. The last frontier is like Lake Erie.
Yeah.
Like the Great Lakes because there's so much water.
Yeah,
but
so
anyway,
fast.
So that's my opinion on. I'm sorry, I went super far in on that.
No, that's what we need. The historian on Rate the Bait. J-Dub.
Well, we all know this is going to be deep to your heart because you got, I feel like you were the pioneer of 5 crafts.
Yeah, I figured, I got them all, boys.
You got them all.
You started all the uproar.
No, I didn't start it all.
You're the reason you perpetuate stereotypes, J-Dub.
Lucas, myself, Mark Rose all had 3.
Did you see his last video that he posted?
I didn't see it, but I know about it.
I was watching it a little bit, talking about it.
The rear facing sonar
Yeah.
going in.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all need to watch that
yeah.
video on J-Dub's channel too.
Going in a little bit.
He went in on rear facing sonar.
You broke it down, man. You did.
I just was being truthful.
You just kept it a brick.
I keep it 100%.
That's
I didn't
what
want
we
people
do, man.
I
buying
ain't
stuff
even
that
seen the
ain't
video,
me.
but you told me about it, and I absolutely agree.
I didn't want. I just didn't want people to take the wrong turn on what. I don't want people buying something they don't need. Is my thing.
Well, there's been such a narrative out there with pro fishermen that, oh, he's got something that I don't have and I need to go get it. And then now we're sitting
Thinking
the
that's why they're
bar
getting beat.
that guys have to
Oh, you check
have.
all of that?
I have not used, I have that on my boat, but I have not used that all week. And I'm on a deep, clear water lake and I've not used it one time.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm looking for.
We're talking about rear facing, forward facing sonar. So rear
Go to
side.
his channel and check it
Yeah,
out.
you'll-
Yeah, y'all need to go see it. Can we, Colin, can we get that link from Jacob's video and drop it in the description? So we'll drop it in the description. If y'all want to watch it, a really good video Jacob did, which I haven't watched yet, but I know all about it. 'Cause I get to hear it firsthand. But y'all should check that out too. That's a whole nother topic. But Adrian, it's on you, big dog.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I mean, you guys talked about most of the stuff, and you know, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be a mirror, but of course I run Lowrance, and been running it for really forever, since I started.
Yep.
But the one thing that I quickly realized whenever you go to new bodies of water that we'd never been to, a lot like what you said, you know, Navionics was one deal for us, and then CMAP came along, and then Lake Master, of course, is what the premier mapping when it comes down to electronics. But the one thing that I've noticed is, because for me too, I don't run a Hummingbird unit on my boat, but I will have an iPad. And on the iPad, I will have, you know, I will have Lake Master up on that, and there are things kind of like what you said that Lake Master will have that CMAP won't, but CMAP will have, and Lake Master doesn't. So for me, I'm gonna always have both with me, especially when I'm going to a body of water where mapping is important. You know, there's certain times
Or a
of
new
year.
body of water.
Yeah, but there's certain times of the year it doesn't really matter, not so much. But so yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give Lake Master probably a 9. I'm gonna give CMAP. I'm gonna give CMAP a little bit higher than what you guys are giving, only because I feel like they are getting better every single year. And so you can see that they're making a positive effort to try to get up there with Lake Master.
They did a good job.
They did.
They have.
So I'm gonna give them an 8.5, and then I don't know anything about Garmin, but I do
it's
know.
fair. Yeah, it's fair.
I do know you, and I remember talking to Josh Bertrand too. Josh Bertrand was saying like there were certain bodies of water. Of course, Josh is really good on the river.
Oh yeah.
And you said the river was really mapped out really well. But you know, so the same thing. You know, I mean, maybe they didn't put quite as much effort into the mapping, and I know all these companies are definitely striving to because they don't want to be behind.
Right.
But I'll give them a 7 out of 10.
Nice. That's nice of you.
Keep it easy, man.
Yeah, man. All right, we're gonna keep rolling along. So that's mapping. I mean, listening to the boys, I mean, you guys can get an idea just how important it is. Mapping is top tier. I damn near put mapping. I mean, mapping's up there, bro.
High.
It's almost more
It's
important
probably-
than 2D.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's one of the most important things we have.
No, it isn't.
100%.
Panning, bro.
Don't
we
get
getting
on
there.
that subject.
We getting there. Hey, look,
About to go there.
no, we're gonna say the best for
Start
last.
your page.
We started with mapping. We're gonna go 2D sonar. That should be a quick one. Then we're gonna hit down view, down scan, clear view, whatever,
Side scan.
side scan, and we're gonna say the best for last.
Sounds
Forward
good.
facing sonar. All right. So you kicked it off first, right?
Yeah, who's the next?
So might as well just move it along. I'm gonna talk about 2D sonar really quick. Fun fact for y'all. Y'all probably don't know this. In my career, right? My first professional year was 2014. I won that Living a Dream package. That boat came with Lowrance's on it. I had a 9 at the front flush mount, and I had a 12-inch flush mount in the dash. Okay. I knew nothing about anything. I didn't have no mapping. I never put a chip in there. I didn't know nothing. I just didn't know. I came from the California Delta.
Was that on Grand Lake?
Well, that was before that. This
Where'd
was
you
my
win? Where'd you win living?
That
in
was
Grand?
on Grand Lake. But and guess what I had on my personal boat? I had 2 9s. I had a 9-inch Lowrance at the trolling motor and a 9-inch flush mount in the dash Lowrance at the driving seat.
Yes, sir.
But I'm from the Delta, bro. We stick our rod in the water. I never turned either one of them bad boys on, generally. But at Grand I did because I had to, right? I needed the mapping to run around. That was it, though. But I want to talk about 2D sonar, man. And this is something that's very old school. A lot of people even consider it like a dead, like a dead sonar. You don't need it anymore. It's useless because you see us all using 4-phase sonar and all that all the time. But I think and still use 2D sonar every single day I'm on the water. It is one of the most useful tools on my boat as far as all we have, forward facing, side down, rear face, all this, right? 2D is the only sonar that will pick up because most of our boats have
Through holes.
through hole transducer. You know your depth as you're running. That is so hugely important, man. You get into a bad zone or area, if you're in an unfamiliar place, you might not even have mapping. But if you got 2D, you see it getting 10 foot, 7 foot, 5 foot, 3 foot. You need to turn your around, right? That's just facts. But that's what I'm saying. It's so useful for things like that, knowing what depth you're in at all times. Mine picks up at full speed. So 65 mile an hour going down the lake, I know how deep I'm running, right? It's just very useful. And there's things that I'll see on 2D as I'm idling and graphing. It's much more sensitive than our down scan or side scan. It doesn't show separation very well, but it's very sensitive. So something's laying flush to the bottom and hugging really, really tight. Might be a fish or whatever. You'll see just a little blip, little bloop. And that'll be him. You gotta give us some nuggets, man. I'm ready to bait, right? You gotta give a couple of little nuggets, man. I'm ready to bait, man. So, you know, it's just very useful. So let's run through it. Lowrance, I have minimal experience with it because I've been Garmin since 2015, but on our cup boats that we fish in the team series, that's all Lowrance stuff. So I utilize it then. It's pretty good. It is. Lowrance 2D sonar, I'm gonna get at a 7.5 out of 10. Garmin's 2D sonar, I think is just a little bit better in my opinion. It seems to be a little more sensitive in my opinion, and it's probably just for me staring at them for so long. I know what I'm looking at on Garmin, to be fair. So I'm not gonna, you know, say Lowrance's is not great because I just don't use it all the time. But in my opinion, I think Garmin's a little bit better. So I'm gonna give Garmin an 8 out of 10 on the 2D sonar. And then Humminbird is one that I have never ever even seen. So I can't even speak to Humminbird on the 2D sonar. But since that since they're a great company and they've pioneered so many other things in our sport, I'm gonna throw them a 6 out of 10 just on GP.
Just on love.
Just on love, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
Who wanna go next? DC and then J Dub.
No,
J Dub or then DC.
J Dub, go.
J Dub, let's hear it, bro.
Keep it simple. I've used them all. They're all good. I'll rank it like this. First Garmin, at 8.5.
Why though? Give us a. Can you give us a little? Can you give the people
All
just
right,
a little?
so
Why so
I'm
they
gonna,
know?
I'm gonna give you guys a thought.
and
I
have an
don't want to go
understanding.
super long
No.
on this because I was like,
Yeah, but you got to give them a little context.
So this is the deal. Garmin, from what I've seen, has a really good image. You can see your weight. As you drop, like that was the old school forward facing sonar, 2D duty. Like you drop your stuff down there, you see your line, you see your bait. I won at Cherokee on 83 kilohertz, dropping a minnow on smallmouth because I could see a broader
You're
comb.
using a minnow then, huh? How many years ago was that?
That was 2017.
17, boy. You was there.
You was shaking a minnow
DC was
vertically and won 100 bands.
on your boat.
On my boat. He said, I'm the captain now.
Hey, scoot over, DC.
That was my first Elite Series tournament. My man come, he rolls up to me like, he said, I can hop in with you. I'm like, yeah, bro, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Come on, man.
I know I'm getting 10 bands this week. I ain't on the winning stuff. I don't really care. Actually, I was on some really good stuff. I just wasn't firing. I lost a bunch of them. So I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to help you out.
He looked out.
Definitely.
And then that was how we kind of met.
Yeah, well, we know each other.
Well, we knew each other for a while, but I was like, all right. But anyway, you
Anyhow,
That's a funny ass
talk to
story,
me. Talk
boy.
to me.
So
You almost gotta tell them the story, man. 'Cause a lot of people don't know this.
This
story.
is for
It's
another
actually
day.
a really good
And they had
story.
rules changed
It's a long
behind this.
story.
Literally.
Literally.
Another
Hey,
day.
we're
Is that
kinda
another day?
nerdy,
That's
but-
another day.
Well, look, hey, well, okay,
Didn't
we'll
y'all
pick
talk
maybe
about
maybe
that
do it
in
on
the
J
Y'all
Dub's
podcast?
channel.
Huh?
But
Didn't
you
y'all
guys
talk about it in
gotta
y'all
hear
podcast?
this story.
Yeah,
And we can all sit down like we are right now.
we can.
Because I mean, even though I wasn't on the boat, because we was all there, Adrian was there, DC was, of course, there. We all got our own like views on it, opinions, etc. Like we were all there,
Yeah.
and so y'all got to check this.
Hey, y'all comment below also. This ain't even my video, but
Tell them what to do, DC.
comment below. I just thought of this. Would y'all like to see story time?
I think they would, bro.
The title is called Story Time or something, where we just tell crazy stories of our experiences doing this and traveling for the last 10 years. I think that would be interesting for people to hear about
100%.
the story that me and you had. You
That
had crazy
story's
stories.
crazy,
Like,
bro.
I've had stories about the one on
Yeah.
St. Clair. I was flipping my boat and breaking it in half. Like, I think I told that story one time. But, like, comment below see if y'all want to hear that. Meanwhile, back to the party.
There we go. There we go.
That's why I try to go through hard. It's fast.
That's true. Hey, look, that's a great debate. Just like
I know.
the casting couch. Are you still calling it that, or we changed the name?
I think I need to change it. There's
You
people
might-
going in the comments for some reason about the casting.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was unaware. But
Okay,
anyways,
okay.
We get long-winded on these. Y'all know this, but bear with us, man. It's a lot of good information.
So what I say, 8.5.
You said 8.5 to Garmin on
Good,
2D Sonar.
I would say Lowrance 2D has not been as good in years past as it was. So, but I'm gonna still give it an 8. And I'm gonna give Humbert an 8.
Really?
So they're actually really close to each other, but I'm gonna give I'm gonna actually give Humbert a nod and give him a 8.2. They're actually a little. I think of seeing your bait and stuff from what I've seen.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've used them all.
Yeah,
So, but they're all very, very similar. Like you're just talking about
Yeah.
little small minuscule.
Sure,
things. So,
sure.
That's my opinion on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I personally think out of all the categories we're going to talk about, this is the one that there's the least amount of separation.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Now, especially.
Now. So
Like 5 years ago,
so
it's
for me, yeah, and for me, just like Mark was saying, like 2D is a huge player for me. I mean, I personally find more
Salt.
salt water. Yeah, but salt water we use a lot of air monitor transducers.
Oh yeah.
So it's just higher frequency to bigger stuff. or
On
whatever,
Simrad?
but- What's that?
With Simrad?
With Simrad or Lowrance. Like I run Lowrances on my saltwater boat.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, one of the saltwater boats.
Okay.
Yeah. But so for me, I mean, I'm just gonna give them 8 across the board.
There you go.
8 across
Okay.
the board.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Lemon squeeze. Not a lot of sep. So, J-Dub, I want you to kick this one off if you don't mind.
Okay.
So we can just move it around along. Down scan.
Down scan and side scan.
We gonna do them together?
Yes, together. As a
Yeah,
whole.
down
They-
and side
They're the
scan.
same transducer.
Yeah, but you can't like rate them like they're not the same.
Do them together. Then. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't do them together, but I'm not gonna. I'll real rate them differently in the same.
See, that's why I think we
right?
should do
I
it.
think so. You can go down scan, side scan, but I can be like, I think this one's this and this one's that, and then it's like boom, boom, boom.
That's
right?
cool.
Okay, so I spent a lot of time side scanning.
Did
I spent a ton of time side scanning my day.
Have you?
Listen, 400, 500, 700 hours a year over the last, 8 years, whatever. I put a lot of time on the motor.
Oh yeah.
And it's come a long way. And each company has made advancements to get better and better and have higher frequencies and have better images.
Yep.
It's gotten sort of like 2D where they're closer now than they ever have been. So I'm going to give you guys, there are advantages and disadvantages overall. For me. Now, I've not spent a ton of time. I have ran Mark's boat on Chickamauga one time, and like when we were out fun fishing when he was at the house. So I was able to sort of, that is my best understanding of Garmin.
Yeah.
So I was able to see a little bit of Garmin, get an idea. So in my opinion, like this is how I'll rate them. Now the key is like down scan, side imaging. You're rating like the clarity, how far you can see out, like how easy it is to mark stuff. Like a lot of that stuff's really important.
Distinguished fish too.
Distinguished
That's-
fish on the side imaging, hard bottom, soft bottom. Lowrance units typically, for me, it's the best unit to see them on softer bottom. Okay, what I mean by that is if it's not super hard bottom is going to show up real bright. Softer bottom is going to show up darker. Lowrance units have a good return on soft bottom, and you can see them if they're grouped up in the bait or they're doing this or they're doing that. You can literally see them on side imaging 150 feet away. I did it this week, seeing those fish that far away. So that's something. Humminbird, overall, hard bottom is like their thing. You can see the shadows of the fish better on Humminbird, better than, but you can't see them as well. So it's a tip for tat.
Right.
You aren't going to see them as
Right.
well. Yeah, you can play around with settings. Don't get me wrong, you can. So that's one thing. Now Garmin, I've not really used it a ton, but I have that. So I've used it a little bit with Mark.
Yeah.
So for me, Garmin, I'm going to rate him a 6.5 to a 7, 6.5. A Lowrance, I'm going to give him overall an 8. And then Humbird, I'm going to give him an 8.4.
Wow.
Is what I'm going to give. But it's all different. So like,
Wow.
I feel like it's really close, but Humbird gets a nod on seeing for the viewer to see. But this goes hand in hand. The actual program that they're run on is another part of like ease of waypointing and stuff.
Right.
So technically, I should give Lowrance about an 8.9 or a 9 because it's so much easier to waypoint. all your stuff.
Waypoint management.
So waypoint
That
management is
never
another
should have
really
been
big
a
deal.
bad thing.
So I have to give that. I actually have to give that because it's so frustrating waypointing your stuff and actually being able to like put a mark on it and stuff. Like
Even with the
Lowrance
Helix
is the
touchscreen?
easiest. No, Helix or Solix are not.
Or
Well,
the
Solix
touchscreen,
is, but
the
Helix is
touchscreen.
not.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna give Lowrance a 9 because of the ease of marking your stuff on side imaging and down imaging. As far as or down scan, I'm gonna say Garmin is better at an 8. Listen, I ran them. Listen. 8, Lowrance 7.2, Humminbird 6.4.
You have confused everybody right then.
We shouldn't have done them
Yeah.
together.
Down scan.
We shouldn't have done.
I know. I thought it'd probably been better to keep them separate, but that's okay. You already did it. It's fine.
So that's fine.
That's fine.
All right.
They
So,
can replay the video.
Yeah, that's
all right. So I just said down scan, side scan.
That's fine.
Side imaging.
Adrian?
So the second part was down scan.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know it confused y'all, but that's just the facts behind it.
All right. That's fine. Go ahead, Adrian, because we got one more category to cover.
Yeah, so I personally think Humminbird side imaging is a little bit crispier. I personally
Higher frequency.
think it is. So I'm going to rate them the highest. I'm going to give them an 8.5. I don't know anything about Garmin,
Yeah.
but I know my Lowrance, and I know my Lowrances are really good. And once they're dialed in, I mean, I'd say they're right there. I'd say maybe a couple tenths less. I give them like an 8.3. I'm gonna start doing decimals.
There you go.
8.345.
And then Garmin, I'll give them a 7. Give them a solid 7.
That's right.
And then when it comes down for down, I honestly haven't only played with Lowrance, and of course, we all use down because you're trying to distinguish, what actually is what. I'd say Lowrance is about an 8. I'd say, I don't know about the other ones. I give them both 7s. I don't know anything about
No,
them.
that's just truth.
I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
I've been ride or die with Lowrance, man. So to be straight up,
No, they've been in the game
I don't
a
know.
long time.
And they got everything.
Yeah.
They do.
No, so for me, of course, I get the luxury of fishing with these guys. Not all the time. We don't get to fish nearly as much as y'all probably think, but we get out there, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a year maybe, something like that. So I've seen the Lowrances in action. Very good units, very user-friendly and all of that. Side scan's pretty damn good on Lowrance. Of course, I'm only comparing it to Garmin because that's all I have, right? So, and that I've used. Humminbird, I haven't played with much, but I've seen a lot of footage and imagery from their side scan, and it's pretty damn good. Crispy. Like really, really crispy. Seen some videos that Ott put out too on his channel. Him just idling around showing his units. I mean, it's pretty impressive. So when it comes to side scan, I'm gonna rank Humminbird the highest, then Lowrance, then Garmin. And I'm gonna give Humminbird, like an 8.5, 8.6, somewhere through there. It was, to me, it was impressive from what I saw. To distinguish the grass lines, seeing fish way out, I thought it was really, really crispy and yeah, it was good. So I'm gonna give them a 9. No, 8.6. Bring that back. The 9 was for I don't know what the 9 was for. The 9 was for the 9. But anyway, Lawrence, pretty dang on good too, man. I'd have been with you boys on the pond. Lawrence is legit. I'm probably give them they're just a little bit underneath Humminbird in my opinion, so like an 8.4, something like that. And then Garmin, of course, I look at Garmin's all day, every day. So in time, you start to learn your equipment, right? Like, okay, that's what that is. Okay, oh, that's... So I'm very proficient, and any other guy that's been running Garmin is going to feel the same way. I'm proficient with Garmin. So I'm going to give them a 7.5 just because that's what I'm used to, and that's what I use every day, right? So, and I haven't had a ton of time behind the other ones to really compare. But that's where I'm at. Now, as far as the down, you know, I think I'd rank Humminbird the lowest on the down because they got a couple things going on. They got them lines going across the graph. I don't know what that is, but it's a distraction to my eyes.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like that. And the images that it throws, the shapes are weird to me sometimes.
So Humminbird's big deal is they have all of their crystals going to side imaging. Like
Okay.
that's why they're so crisp.
Yep.
So like they're trying to debate, from my understanding of running the unit, it's like they're trying to formulate this like image with this less crystals,
With less
like,
crystals going down.
going down because their image is so.
It makes
crisp.
sense because when
You're gonna lose something,
sure,
and that's what they're losing. They're losing the down image and go. Like if you actually go to a DI transducer on Humminbird, just exclusively for down imaging, it's actually really pretty good.
Pretty good, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. But
That
it
makes,
just-
that
that's
makes a
just how
lot
it
of good
is. It was
sense.
interesting.
But when you get the 2-in-1 deucer,
Yes.
they got all the crystals utilized for the side, which is why it's so good.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, I seen the image, and I'm just like, huh. But so yeah, I got to give them probably the lowest. And then I'd go Garmin next. I'd probably say Garmin's again a 7.5 out of 10 on the down. Of course, I know what I'm looking at, and then I'd give Lawrence probably the highest on that. I give him an 8.2, somewhere through there. That's just me.
All right, so I'm gonna keep this real simple. Not gonna get complicated. To me, I've ran all of them except Garmin. I'm gonna start off the rippy. I don't know Garmin. I've never used it. Don't know nothing about down engine, side engine. I'm gonna give them a 6.8 just because you said it was good. So I'm rocking with that. We got him out of the way. Number 2, Humminbird. Now we're Humminbird versus Lawrence. I've used both. I'm this kind of guy. Humminbird looks phenomenal. Lawrence is a little bit not as crispy, but I love functionality. I love everybody has their own preference. I ain't gotta see every limb that's 85 feet away. I ain't gotta see the whole limb, the whole structure. I don't have to see the mortar in the bricks on an old foundation.
The mortar.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what mortar is in a brick? Where they mold that stuff together?
That's the stuff in between.
I
right?
ain't got to see the old water spigot in front of an old house foundation and sticking up with a little knob out there.
Yeah.
I ain't got to see that.
Yeah, yeah.
We're talking about me, though.
Yeah.
So I'll run my Lawrence on 455, rock him out real far, and see. That's all I care about.
You see bass.
I see bass. So with that being said, as far as clarity wise, Humminbird 8.3. 8.3. Functionality side of both sides of it, an 8. I'm gonna say even 8.3. I do like. I'm gonna be a little biased here because I have ran Lawrence. Down imaging on Lawrence is phenomenal to me. The down imaging. And I've ran all the transducers, LSS2s. I've ran 3-in-1s. I have an LSS2 on my boat.
I do too.
Yes. So, I've ran them all. I've spent a lot of time. Down imaging, Lawrence by far. 9.5 to me.
Wow.
Highest rating of the night, baby.
Down?
Down imaging.
Coming from
On
you.
LSS2 or a new?
On LSS2.
Okay.
Folks, can they get an LS?
No, you cannot get one. But I will tell you something. The active imaging transducer by Lawrence is freaking legit.
It actually is.
I like it on 455 though versus the 800.
Yeah, I do too.
Like I said, when you run 800 on your down imaging and side imaging, you lose a lot. You get definition, but you lose your relative size. It's so crispy and all that. And then when I ran it on 800, it's like you'll see a school of fish, and they're just, that beam is so hot, it don't pick them up right. I'm not used to the image of it. Have you noticed that?
I have.
So
That's a good transition for that.
yeah, it's a great transition. So across the board, I'm gonna say I got to go with Lowrance. I have to, just because I'm so used to it. Freaking Humminbird Mega Live looks mega. You can see old dog houses that's 95 feet away. You can see the name Fido right there.
Fido.
You can read Fido.
Fido.
If you want to read Fido, get you a bird. If not, rock with me. Anyway, let's get to FFS before we.
Hold on, did you rate? What was Garmin on
That
down
was
there?
across the board.
Oh, across the board for both.
Across the board.
Oh, I got you.
That was my rating.
Two
for down
8.3s and a 6.8.
No, across the board, Lowrance 9.5.
Oh, that's right.
Humminbird 8.3, and Garmin 6.5. 6.8.
Okay. I got you.
Across the board for that section.
That's
And
where you go.
Look,
FFS.
hold on, I gotta get a drum roll for it. Here, look. Y'all been waiting on this all night. They been waiting. Hey, it's here. Forward facing sonar. We about to talk about it on Rake the Bay.
For my fans.
FFS.
Yeah, for the fans of FFS, this is now your section.
What about for the haters?
For the crybabies and haters, go get you some Kleenexes.
Nah, this y'all section too. Comment. I love the haters too, bro.
I do too.
I love them. Like y'all, no, you don't understand. Genuinely love them.
No,
I do.
I do too.
They
I
need a
love
place.
them.
They need a place too.
They need their voice heard.
Yes.
some actually have some valid points.
Dude, I
90%
got
of them,
I got a guy gave me a comment.
98% of them.
88%, 98% will just be straight haters.
Yeah, but
But
2% that has some
it's-
really good valid
It's
points.
constructive criticism.
Yeah, I like it.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too. I appreciate
But
it.
I like to just straight up hate too. It's awesome.
I just
I
hate
know
when
it.
it's like they're
Yeah,
beating
I
a
love
dead
it.
Thank you for
horse, man. It's
fueling
the same
us.
thing over and
Thanks
over
for the
again.
It's over and over. But here we go.
Thanks for
Forward
the
facing
view.
sonar, man. We got 3 brands. We got 3 different forward facing sonar transducers. We sit next to 2 of the best damn forward facing sonar fishermen there are.
I'm not big crack a beer over
You
this
boys is bad.
Nah.
You boys is bad with that. So look, Adrian, you ain't kicked one off yet.
No.
Adrian's a
kick
bad
it.
boy too with that forward face sonar. Don't be fooled. You see them feet? He get that.
You see the
You see them
toenails?
toenails? Hey,
Look at them
Adrian.
toes.
I am.
Hey, he uses his big toes.
Adrian, get in there, boy.
I'm
with
blocking
them
that.
feet,
Yeah,
boy.
I've got
Yeah,
like
yeah.
3 pedicures. Is that a pedicure?
Pedicure.
Or manicure? Pedicure?
Manicures
I
your
got
hands.
I got 3 pedicures in my life, and all of them been with you, bro.
I know it, man. I be trying to keep my boy Adrian. Hey,
Trying to
look,
keep me
y'all
groomed.
don't understand how important the pedicure is. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, let's rock on it. Adrian, kick us off on forward face sonar, bro.
All right, so I'm gonna start with Humminbird. So
Why
Humminbird.
are y'all doing that?
And I'm just saying. So I've got 0 experience with Humminbird, 0. But I remember, because me, I'm a fan of sport, so I watch everything. I watch NPFL, I watch Bass, I watch, of course, Major League Fishing whenever we get eliminated, which here recently I've been getting eliminated, so I've been watching a lot of Major League Fishing. But hey, I remember 2 events. One was the Classic,
Yes,
when Gussie won,
yes.
and then the other one was Polnick on Santee Cooper jerking brush piles.
Yeah.
It is not as good as Lowrance and Garmin. That's all I'm going to say. Really, really hard to see. Like, they always talk about target separation. Struggling. That's all I'm going to say. You know, but they're definitely making a positive effort. I feel like just like Lowrance. Whenever the Lowrance first got on it. And what was our first transducer?
Live site.
Live site. I feel like you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And they are the 3rd out of these electronic companies that we're talking about. They are the 3rd one to get on the forward-facing sonar.
Yeah.
And it shows. But they are getting better. So I'm going to get ahead and I'm going to rate Humminbird a 6. Now I'm going to talk about Lowrance. Lowrance, of course, I rock with Lowrance. I haven't really spent a whole lot of time with Garmin, but I have been in Mark's boat a little bit. The one thing that I can tell you about Lowrance, I personally like Lowrance the best, and it's probably just because what I'm most used to. I feel like I have no issue seeing my bait out 100 feet. You know, I do feel like the target separation is good, but the only downside is in shallow water. I feel like our transducer in shallow water isn't quite as good as a Garmin. But I'm going to get ahead. I'm going to give Lowrance a 9 on the Active Target 2 transducer.
Yeah.
And then when it comes down to Garmin, I'm going to get ahead. I'm going to give Garmin a 9.
Oh wow.
But I do think Garmin has the upper end in shallow water.
Yeah.
Like what kind of depth range you talking?
Like I'm talking about 5 foot of water.
Okay.
Okay.
Super shallow.
10 foot or less.
8 foot or less.
Yeah.
Super shallow.
And you feel like it's distance or target
I
separation?
feel like no, definitely target separation.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot cleaner. Like when we get in shallow water, things kind of
Stuff gets squat.
it gets
Yeah.
fuzzy.
Squat a
It
little
does.
Yeah,
It does.
It's tough in shallow water.
But now when we're on a body of water like this and we're fishing out 15, 20 feet or
Yeah.
10 to 20 feet, 10 to 30 or whatever, looking for bait, this and that. I mean, dude, it doesn't. I mean, it's freaking good.
Yeah,
you
it
know.
is.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, just I think
You
it
give
was.
him a 9.
Yeah,
Nice.
like recently we were just out there just messing around. I don't know where were we at. One of the lakes. This year I hopped in your boat for a little bit.
Oh, we were at,
Come look at this.
That was at Toledo Bend. We went to some lake in Natchitoches.
Yeah,
Nacogdoches.
and that's
I
the
didn't
first
know how to
thing,
say
and
it,
that's the first thing that impressed me. And when it comes down to, I didn't even talk about scout or perspective.
Yeah.
That's
I-
another video.
That's
That's
a whole nother
that's a
topic.
whole nother topic. Because me
Yeah.
personally, you know, I haven't really messed with it a whole lot.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair. J-Dub.
No, I'm passing the. I'm passing the.
Are you passing the? You won't be last?
Yeah, I can be last.
Okay.
You be last.
DC, go for it, bro.
Oh, you gonna put me on this? All right, here we go.
Yeah, this your favorite topic. What you mean?
All right, it's my favorite topic. All right.
I just want to go last so I can correct DC.
We talking about the box. We talking about the box.
They don't know about it.
This
That's
box.
what we call it in the house.
The black box, baby.
Black
The
box, or AKA the box.
Jacob said he gonna correct me. I think I'm pretty. I don't know. I feel like I'm okay with using it.
He's not bad.
Yeah, you're not bad, bro.
I'll say this. So I will say this. I'll run Lowrance Active Target 2. I've used Garmin. I've not used Humminbird. Humminbird, I don't know nothing about it. 5.2. 5.2. Gotta give them props. They there. But anyway, Garmin versus Lowrance. This is the debate that everybody wants to talk about. For me, again, let me reiterate. I don't have to see a water hose curled up on the side of a house. I ain't got to see limbs with crappie. I don't have to see everything so detailed. I ain't got to see that. I got to see my bait. Okay? For me, I can see my bait. Last year I was on live. I did this on live. I got my camera. I said, Rick, come up here. Come on. I extended my stuff out to 120. Now I was in clear water. Take that for account. I threw it as far as I could. Now with a spinner rod, I can't throw hella far, but like
110.
110.
Yeah.
And I can see it. That's the biggest factor with four-face sonar. You have to see your bait. If I can't see my bait, I'm just casting at a target. I mean, I literally am. I don't see the action of the fish. I have to see the bait, okay? I feel like with Garmin, you can see your bait, 1,000%. But the one that I was using was not the new one, the 32.
32.
No, we used it in Portugal though.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, 34
I will
there?
say
Yeah.
this: the 34 is great, and you can see your bait.
Yeah.
You could see your bait.
Yeah.
But I'm just so used to Lowrance. I feel like the frequency of Lowrance is a little. It's more or less like 455 to me. I feel like my cone, my target, is a little bit farther out. And I don't have to be dead on, because I've seen where the Garmin, you have to stay dead on it with your trolling motor to see your bait. If you get off to the left, you can't see it, and you're constantly trying to find that target. With mine, I can point my trolling motor and go, and I always see my bait. It might be a little faded, but I can correct it with my trolling motor. So I know where I'm at all times. With that being said, I'm going to do it. Active Target 2, 9.9.
Go and give him a 10, bro.
No, I ain't gonna give him 10. I got to throw Lowrance underneath the bus a little bit. There is some inconsistencies about Lowrance. Sometimes the point one, there's inconsistencies about it. Sometimes, whenever you throw a trolling motor down, I don't know what it is. It's either air pockets or air bubbles or something. it don't read as good.
It take a minute for it
It
to
take a
clean.
minute to clean up.
Garmin same way.
And it may just be the transducers. I don't know. Y'all probably seen that too. Garmin,
Same.
a 9.
That's
That's
fair.
it.
That's fair.
But for me, I don't have to see super detail. I ain't got to see a tail swagging. I don't have to see that.
No.
Because I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a certain shade in a fish. If he's real faded, he's probably a catfish. Okay, if he's real bright, he might be too big. He may be a big gar. So I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So 9.9 active target 2. That's me. I'm biased.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Go ahead.
That's juice. So for me, I have not used Humminbird at all, but I'm like Avena. I watch a lot of bass fishing on TV, man, and I've seen Gussie win the Classic, obviously, and then I saw that same event you spoke of at Paul and Santee Cooper throwing a jerk bait, and they're trying, man. They're in the game. I'm sure they have advancements coming down the road. The clarity of the Mega Live is just not there, but they had to get into the market. They're a graph company. I get it, but to me, it's not good. You know, and I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a negative way.
I gotta get a
Humminbird
drink.
made all kind of great stuff,
Oh, I mean,
but their 4-phase sonar at this moment in time is not good. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with the best one in the future.
Yeah.
Just right now, it's just not there, man. So I got to give them a 5. I ain't gonna dog them super bad. They're a great company, make a lot of great products. I got to give them a 5. When it comes to 4-phase sonar, it is right now at this time it's between Garmin and Lowrance. That is really your two choices.
they're in their own league of their own.
They are.
Yeah.
Now, again, I fish with these boys enough, right? I've used Active Target a bunch, and I'm the total opposite of Dustin on this. And this is not a knock to Dustin. Dustin's probably one of the best, if not the best, 4-phase sonar guy, right? These two, you guys are amazing at it. It's just, it's like anything else, man. You get accustomed to what you have and you use and what you're used to. When I hop on a boat with DC, he's right about that. On the Lowrance, I can see my bait pretty clear a far distance away. I feel like y'all's beam is wider. Like you said, you don't have to make a perfect cast in line with your trolling motor spot on to see the bait. You don't. You could be off a little left or a little right and you still gonna pick it up. And that's hugely important because, like you said, you can see how the fish interact and engage with your bait, and you can speed it up, slow it down, twitch it, whatever, right? To get a fish to strike. That's important, man, for us. That's hugely important. So I really, really love that feature about Lowrance. Now, I just feel like, what's the word? I guess not target set, the clarity, the overall clarity, I guess. The picture, the imagery. That's what it is for me. The imagery. I feel like Garmin has a far better image with that. At the end of the day, obviously don't matter. Like you said, you don't need to see the water hose or the branches, right? You just need to see, okay, that's a bass over there. Let me give my bait to him, right? And that does not matter to most people. But my eyes are, again, used to seeing Garmin. And so when I look out there, I am used to seeing all the branches in the tree, because that's the return you get from Garmin. It's really clear imagery, right? So I'm gonna give Lowrance an 8.5, and I'm gonna give Garmin probably a 9.5. I think they've done an excellent job. Obviously, they created the technology, or they're the first to the market with it, so there's always an extra point for that. And then there's levels to it. I think we're on our 3rd transducer now. They've gotten better and better and better. And now this LVS 34, no, they got 4 transducers. They have a saltwater version too.
62.
The 62. I mean, it's only getting better. Where does it end? We don't know. The truck keeps trucking, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna give it to. That's my opinion. The historian.
No, I'm not going too far in.
We got to give J-Dub a nickname on Rate the Bait. I kind of coined him the historian, but
The professor.
the professor,
The
you know, he got all
I
the inside nuggets, bro.
I always throw a little bit, but
That's good.
This one's, you know, it's interesting because obviously you guys hit it really hard on a lot of the same things I thought. Going to Humminbird first, I'm going to give them 6.5. I think they're going to push that way. The big thing with Humminbird right now is they don't have a black box.
Really?
So they don't have a black box, from my understanding, from everything that I've seen.
Processor.
It's just a processor. They don't have an additional processor, so that helps process information, clarity. There's a lot of things that are happening. So I think they're a little bit behind the times, but I do know they have some updates that were better. I talked to some guys like Alex Davis who run Humminbird exclusively.
Yeah.
Said he can see his bait out 90 feet.
Really?
So I mean,
This is new.
This
It's more
is
recent.
just last fall he was doing that. So I mean, I don't know where that's at. I mean, I think they made some advancements in the last 6 months that were positive.
Good. That's good.
So that being said, I think I'm gonna rate them like a 7 or 6 point, probably a 6.5. You know, I think they're really solid. I think they're a good company, and I think they make good products. I think they're always trying to innovate and kind of continue to make sure they make the best unit they can.
Straight up.
So Humminbird, there, Lowrance, Garmin. This is the big deal. Okay, Lowrance is the best suspended fish forward-facing sonar there is. Period. Don't even call me. Don't try to tell me nothing else. And LVS
Y'all go in on them with the
34,
comments. I
you
can't
can say
wait.
all this stuff. You got the 62. Well, the 62 might be, but you're also spending a saltwater transducer at that point in time.
Right.
And you don't have the fact. The thing is, I can make a cast at 120 feet and see a bait hit, like a quarter-ounce jig head hit with a little 3.5-inch mucha minnow. I can do that. And then the water's not super clear. I can see it happen. You can't do that consistently on Garmin. For me. Now, the thing is, Lowrance's beam's actually tighter.
How is that?
It's tighter. But the thing is, distance-wise, so you have to understand.
As it gets
so,
out there.
So as it gets out there,
Yeah.
it's wider.
Yeah.
But technically, Garmin's is even wider at that distance. That's why you can't see your bait as far. So you can't see your bait as far because you're so wide at that point in time. It diminishes the overall look and the picture of that bait hitting the water. Like it's just like you have a big flashlight, right? A flashlight out there.
Yeah.
It's not. You're trying to light up the whole room, but you can barely see. That's why when you get down into that's when you get a Garmin. You get into 60 feet, 70 feet. You can see your stuff really good, better than you can in a Lowrance a lot of times. You see what I'm saying? Like, and you have to be right on them on Lowrance
Because it's tighter. As
because
you
it's tighter.
bring it in.
Yeah, so it's tighter, so it has a sharper image. It has more power going to that image.
Yep.
So that's just facts. Just telling you right now, if you're out there, me, and they're up high, there is nothing better than an Act Target 2, just period in the story. That is what it is. Bottom separation, target separation, Garmin does have Lowrance speed. Consistently, whether that's on grass, whether that's on wood, and it does matter at times. It does matter. So Lowrance has got some work to do there. They gotta pick their game up there, but they've done better from Act Target 1 to Act Target 2.
Yeah.
They made a really good push to ultimately get to that point. So that being said, that's really the two differences. So if you're looking for target separation, Garmin's, I give them the nod. If you're looking for further cast and seeing your bait farther and understand that, then I give Lowrance the nod. And both are equally as important. Okay. So that being said, I'm actually going to give them a 9.0 apiece. I'm not going to say one is better than the other collectively because each one has their value.
Yeah. They each bring something to the
And
table.
that is my opinion on it. I'm not going to, they're both really good. I think, but I will say this. The best overall unit in one singular unit is Lowrance.
For everything.
For everything. Now, I rated all this individually.
Yeah.
But Lowrance, as far as how it processes it, how it works,
Waypoint
management,
Yep.
to 2D, to side scan, to down scan, to all collectively. If I'm buying one unit today, me and Jacob Wheeler, a consumer, just going to go out there, I'm going to buy an HTS 12.
Yep.
Period. Just because I feel like that's the complete unit.
Yep.
There's each one has their own thing and everything else.
Yeah.
But hey, if MLS says, hey, tomorrow you're only allowed to have two 12-inch units on your boat, I'm gonna buy two Lowrances and put them on there and roll with it.
Call it good.
That's what I would do. So that's my opinion on it.
That's good, man.
I just had to give you guys.
Hey,
Can I say one disclaimer before we close?
The professor. Of course, DC.
All right, one disclaimer.
Of course.
It all depends on your personal preference, okay?
That's true too.
All
of this.
There's certain aspects to each one, like you just said. Humminbird might be user friendly to you. Lowrance might be user friendly. We are not pushing toward anything. Whatever helps you catch more bass, and that's what this technology has done. I think it's a great thing. I think it's getting us more bites as fishermen, despite all the you're spotlighting, blah blah blah. That's the people who ain't getting their hook wet and their rod honestly, the guys.
Let's talk about
that-
spotlight.
I'll be glad to say that too. But that's the guys that are not. They're not wanting to.
Hey, what's the difference between spotlight and deer and a 4-face sonar, DC? Can you tell me just real quick here? Just give me like a 2-minute
hunt
rant.
deer, so I don't even know.
One of them's legal and one's
One of them's illegal. One's not.
Hey, didn't Lorenz, didn't you say y'all's first 4-face sonar transducer was called Spotlight?
No, it's live side.
Oh, live sight. I
Live
thought it was
sight.
What
called
was the
Spotlight.
Spotlight.
But-
No, I
but
thought there
here's
was
the
another
thing.
one that did that.
Technology's always been a big deal in this sport, okay, for us. We are out there in the unknown. We don't know what's below us. We're not in an airplane, okay? We're not
Yeah.
flying up there in the clouds. Imagine flying an airplane without GPS, with all the technology they have.
Yeah.
They're in the clouds. They don't know where they're at, okay? We have something underneath the boat. We're trying to catch wild animals underneath the water. How do we know? And as professionals, for us to be able to pinpoint what the fish are doing and us being able to see their reactions and understand how to trigger that fish, that's a learning process. So in our sport, we're all about learning. Technology has always been a big factor and always will be. So you have to learn if you want to become a better fisherman and understand little aspects. So whatever brand works for you, all for it. If you don't want to use technology and get on Facebook and whine about it, I'm all for you too. I enjoy you too. Just don't plan on your hook. I mean, don't plan on your rod bending a lot.
We out, Chuck.
What I meant to say by that was like, you can still catch them
5
without
minutes later.
electronics, okay? What I mean by that is if you want, like certain times of year, let's say the water gets clear, okay? And they get off bed and they get in that little funky mood and you have no clue. You just got done fishing every lay down on the lake and you don't know where they went. Without electronics, you ain't catching them. You're not catching them. So you got to wait again until March when they get on the bank. I don't want to be a 2-month out of the year fisherman. I want to know what they're doing 12 months out of the year. September, I don't want to go throw a buzzbait with a toad on it in the back of a creek every year like we've been doing. Now we understand this.
Now we know where to
And
get.
it's cool, and you can catch a lot of fish. So that's my disclaimer.
Thanks for clearing that up, DC.
Yeah, I didn't want everybody thinking that you ain't gonna catch nothing without these electronics.
Kudos.
Kudos to the guys that don't use electronics. That's your personality. I love
People
it.
are saying, man, cut that black box off, DC. Stop catching all the bass.
I love to cut it off. Cut it off, baby.
Cut him off.
You wouldn't love to cut it off.
No, I mean I would hate to cut it off. I would cut it off. I enjoy it. I enjoy catching them like that. It's a lot of fun.
I hate it.
It really is a lot of fun.
Oh,
It's a lot of fun
it's
reeling in
hella
bass.
fun.
Oh, but I will tell you something else. Trashing them on a swim jig with a shad spawn is debatable how much fun that
That's
is. That,
unbelievable.
that,
That's my-
that
that's
might
my
be my
favorite.
top.
Yeah, that's fun too.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we gone.
For the second time.